Okay, so this is going to be my top 10 best things of WWE this year. I've already uploaded the worst of WWE. I got really heated. That video ended up being a half an hour long. But that's going to be in the description down below. This video won't be as long because there won't be as much ranting. So let's kick it off. Number 10, the rise, the fall, and then the rise again of Baron Corbin. Look, I know people don't like Baron Corbin. I get why they don't like him, but I do. And they started this year for him weird. He wasn't really doing a whole lot. I don't even remember. He lost on the pre-show at WrestleMania to Dean Ambrose. He lost the IC title match. Then they didn't do a whole lot with him. I don't remember what. Oh, he had his feud with Kalisto, or was that last year? I honestly don't remember when he feuded with Kalisto. Long story short, they gave him the Money in the Bank briefcase. And I was like, oh, cool. They gave him the briefcase. They're going to give him the title at some point. And hopefully he'll beat Jinder. Although I thought he would beat... Oh, no, sorry. He feuded Nakamura and then won the briefcase. And I was like, oh, cool. They're going to have him win the briefcase. And the way they're probably going to do it, and they should have done it, is that Nakamura wins the title from Jinder, and then Baron cashes in on Shinsuke. Easy heat for Corbin. Great over. Get Shinsuke even more over with somebody the fans genuinely don't like, and then just fucking release Jinder. Again, I talked about Jinder in my worst video, whatever. But then they did something really weird. They had Corbin cash in on SmackDown the weekend before it was supposed to be Jinder versus Shinsuke and Corbin versus Cena. Or 2 weeks before SummerSlam. And I was like, they're not actually going to do this. They're not going to have Corbin randomly cash in on a Raw or a SmackDown, whatever. They used to do that. They used to have people cash in on SmackDown and Raw, but it wasn't right before a pay-per-view. And then the match happens, and Cena distracts Corbin. Jinder rolls up Corbin. I'm still almost convinced that Corbin's shoulder was up, but, they won't let that, be known. And then I'm like, okay, so they're going to have Corbin lose the briefcase, and then they're just going to have him fucking massacre Cena at Royal Rumble. That makes sense. You give Corbin that monster, and then Cena beats Corbin. Cena's basically playing that whole match like Corbin's not, he's like, hey, Corbin's not really on my level. Hey. And I'm like, great. They fucking wasted Baron Corbin. A dude who, like Elias Sampson, gets natural heat just for showing up because people don't like him, but I do. And then they started having him feud with AJ Styles, and I'm like, oh, they're not going to have him win. They could have him win the title, but it wouldn't matter at this point. And then they brought in Ty Dillinger, and I was like, oh shit, they're actually using two guys that they should have been using already. And then Corbin wins the U.S. title. I don't remember who he pinned. I think he had to have pinned Dillinger. Yeah, he did. He pinned Dillinger. But then they had him beat AJ Styles clean. And I was like, oh shit, they're actually doing something decent with Corbin now. And I'm happy about it. They're now going to have him feud Bobby Roode, which that's going to be a great feud. Corbin can go, okay? The fact that this guy can slide underneath the ring post, run back in, he flies around that ring sometimes like he's a cruiserweight. So yeah, Baron Corbin, nice. Number 9, this isn't the full show of this. This is just one of the matches on the show, and a couple of these are going to be just matches. But number 9 is DIY versus the Revival versus the Authors of Pain at NXT TakeOver San Antonio or whatever. Yeah, San Antonio. Great. Oh, such a good match. Oh my God. Such a good match. The Revival we already knew were great. DIY we already knew were amazing. But people were really concerned about the Authors of Pain. They're like, why are these guys champion? And I don't know why they made the wait, no, sorry, it wasn't San Antonio. It was it was wherever they had. I honestly don't remember which fucking DIY versus Revival versus Authors of Pain at whatever takeover it was. Okay, I'm not great with these things. people were really concerned about the Authors of Pain. They're like, these guys are really green and they're champions. But DIY and the Revival pulled a great match out of these guys. This was the best NXT match until later on in the year, which was the most recent takeover. But we'll get to that. Hashtag teasing. Whatever. Foreshadowing. Anyway, great match. It was whatever city WrestleMania. Oh, it was NXT Takeover Orlando, or whatever it was. That was when it was. AOP won the match, but the match was fantastic. They had DIY and the Revival use each other's finishers, but they would mix the teams. So they had Ciampa and Wilder do the Shatter Machine, and they had Scott Dawson and Johnny Gargano do the meeting in the middle of the knee and the super kick. Great match overall. Definitely one of the best NXT matches. That was the best match of that entire weekend. But yeah, that's a quick number 9. Number 8. This one's going to be a little quick as well because I didn't watch a whole lot of it. But the Mae Young Classic. Fantastic. 32 of the best female wrestlers in the world coming into that. Candice LeRae, Tessa Blanchard, Kairi Sane, Mia Yim, Tanera Conti, Toni Storm, Shayna Baszler, or Blazer, whatever. I don't give a shit. I don't like her. That if Kairi Sane hadn't won the Mae Young Classic, the Mae Young Classic would have been in my worst video, because the only reason they pushed Shayna Baszler to the front of it is because they're going to do something at WrestleMania that has to do with UFC versus WWE. Guarantee it. So yeah, we got introduced to Kairi Sane. A lot of the American fans got introduced to Kairi Sane. She's incredible. If they're going to do her versus Ember Moon, yes, 100 times yes to that. And then once Kairi makes it to the main roster, just think about this. Think about the possibility that we're going to get Kairi Sane versus Asuka. Okay? Keep that in mind. We're probably going to get Kairi Sane versus Asuka. Asuka's probably going to win. Okay? I feel like they should do a Fabulous Moolah thing here, and they should just give Asuka the title at Mania, and then just have her hold it for the rest of time. I think fans would like it. I would like it. So yeah, Mae Young Classic, number 8. Number 8. Number 7 is Neville. This kind of contradicts what I said in my worst video, but in my worst video, I said wasting the 205 Live roster. The only thing that they did that was really good was that they used Neville. Neville was fantastic this year. A heel Neville was something I never thought I'd see. And never something I thought that I wanted. But then when I got it, I was like, ooh, I want more. And he was great. The whole King of the Cruiserweights. That whole fucking thing was great. They ruined it, but it was great for the time being. Him using the Rings of Saturn as a submission move, he gets those crazy, he gets those crazy eyes, and it was great. The Red Arrow is always awesome. That's my clock, sorry. He was having great matches left and right. He had a great match with Rich Swann. His best match was probably against Jack Gallagher at Battleground, in my opinion. His matches against Aries were all amazing. His matches against Tozawa were like, they're alright. And then he lost to Enzo Amore. But for a majority of the year, Adrian Neville, carried the 205 Live roster on his back, and he made it work. So yeah, Neville is number 7 on this list. Number 6. This is a controversial one, but I'm going to go with it anyway. Alexa Bliss. Damn, she proved her worth this year. This was the year of Alexa Bliss, man. She fucking proved her worth. Starting from last year, near the end of the year, when they gave her the SmackDown Women's title, she proved her worth this entire year. They had her lose it to Naomi, but then Naomi got hurt, and then she won it back again. And then she lost it in Mania, but then they brought her over to Raw. And her work on Raw has been fantastic. She had one good match with Bayley. She had great matches with Sasha Banks. Her last match against Mickie James was fantastic. Her match against Charlotte was great. And everyone's like, oh, Charlotte's a good worker. Oh, she carried Alexa. No, okay? Alexa's a good worker. She's gotten a lot better. She's not as good as Sasha or Charlotte or Becky. but she's still really good. Her mic work is some of the... Women aren't usually good talkers in WWE. I'm sorry to say that, but majority of the time, whenever someone in the women's division gets on the mic, it's just kind of like, I'm the best woman on this roster. And it's always the face. It's like, and I'm not going to let... Like, Bayley trying to do mic work was fucking awful. But Alexa's got the full package. She's got good heat. She can work in the ring. She's got great mic work. And her heel work is fantastic. Her fucking... her bitchy bully attitude gimmick is amazing. They're probably gonna turn her face now because of Paige coming back, which, by the way, honorable mention, my girl Paige is back. Yay. But yeah, Alexa Bliss made watching the Raw women's matches interesting because God knows fucking Bayley wasn't doing it. Number 6. This is one that I never thought I would ever put on a top 10 list. A top 10 best list. But Braun Strowman. Yo. Man, oh man, this dude is a monster. Absolutely fantastic. They have done this so well. Last year was supposed to be Braun Strowman versus Undertaker, and everyone hated Braun Strowman at that time. And then it was around the time that they did the draft, I think. And Braun was like, they rebuilt Braun as a monster, but at first I'm just like, oh, they're going to make him a squash monster, blah, blah, blah. And then he started working with Sami Zayn, and I'm like, oh, this is all right. And then around the time of near the end of the year when he started working with Roman, I'm like, yo, this guy is legit. And he's amazing. Braun is someone that I never thought I'd see get over. But not only is he over, he is more over than majority of the roster. It is ridiculous. He's had good matches, too. His matches against the Big Show on Raw were great. When they had the ring collapse, that was awesome. One of his matches against Roman where he power slammed him like 3 times and then the whole, I'm not finished with you! Anybody that says they don't like that is fucking lying. That is amazing. That was one of the best segments of the year. But yeah, again, I'm making this video a bit quick, but there's just so much to say about Braun that has already been said that I can't say more of. Anyway, I want Braun as Universal Champion. That's what needs to happen at some point. Or at least make him Intercontinental Champion. So now we're in the top 4. And this one is just a moment. It's not a whole match or anything. It's just a moment. The WrestleMania ladder match for the tag team titles. And everyone knows where I'm going with this. But I freaked out when this happened. The Hardy Boys came back at WrestleMania and won the Raw tag team titles. But the way they did it was fantastic. Let's remember that. Because if they had just been like, oh, hey, there's one more team and it's the Hardy Boys. It would have been like, oh my god, that's amazing. But the way they did it was even better. The New Day comes down, they're doing their whole, boom, 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 boom. They're doing their whole, dancing thing. And they're like, as your WrestleMania host, we've just been informed that this ladder match is now a fatal 4-way. And everyone's like, oh my god, you're delete from the whole crowd, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's going to be delete. It's time for the Hardy Boys. And they're like, which means there's one more team in this match. And then Kobe's like, so I wonder who this team could be. And then he takes off his hat and he gets this serious look on his face. And I'm like, no, they're not. They're not going to do this. They're not going to do this. And they start walking towards the ring. And I'm like, no. And then the Hardy Boy music hits and the crowd fucking exploded. And I was like, yo, great that the Hardy Boys are back, but the New Day played that so well. I feel like they were the only ones on, other than like the production team and the New Day, I don't think anybody else knew the Hardys were coming back. I really don't. But yeah, Hardys are back. Matt's going to be broken by the time Jeff comes back, so hopefully, we'll get the, the broken Hardys. I hope they don't have Matt feud Jeff because it's just going to be them copying TNA. But yeah, this whole thing has been amazing. And now we're in the top 3. I shuffled these top 3 for a good half an hour. I was like, okay, 2 is actually 3, 3 is number 1, 1 is number 2, whatever. But this is my final top 3. Number 3, AJ Styles. This guy had another great year. He starts the year off with a great, one of the best matches of the year against John Cena at the Royal Rumble. They fucking stole the show, and it was great. Then they had him being the final 2 against Bray Wyatt in Elimination Chamber. That was whatever. Then they started his feud with Shane McMahon, and I was like, ooh, this can go one of 2 ways. This can either be really great or really bad. There's no in between. And guess what? It was really great. AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon, I can't believe I'm going to say this, was probably the best match of WrestleMania. Triple H versus Seth. Did I say AJ Styles versus Triple H? AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon was the best match at WrestleMania. Triple H versus Seth Rollins was good. Goldberg versus Rock was just fucking ridiculous. But his match against Shane McMahon, people were like, oh, it was just a spot fest. Who gives a shit? Shane McMahon went for a fucking shooting star and missed. It was great. Then they had him just kind of have some random shit going on. They teased him versus Nakamura at Money in the Bank, which was great. Just the fucking standoff, and the crowd was like freaking out. They're like, oh my god, no way! Then at some point they had him lose clean to Jinder on TV. That was not okay. That was just, no. You don't do that. Then he won the U.S. title he had his feud with Kevin Owens. That was really good. It led to now Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Shane McMahon. Which, by the way, an honorable mention. Sami Zayn is a heel. Oh my god, this is so good. I was gonna put that at the bottom of the list, but I decided to put Baron Corbin instead. Sami Zayn is a heel. Oh my god. It's just so great because he's basically his character he was before, but he's so extra. And that makes it so much better. So yeah, Styles wins the title from Owens. Has, a couple of decent matches with Baron Corbin. That was alright. Then he loses the title to Corbin. I was fine with that. Then we got Finn Balor versus AJ Styles. A match I thought I'd have to wait to see for so long. I wanted to see Finn Balor versus AJ Styles, and I was hoping at some point, if they did it further down the road, it would be control for the club, because AJ's like, hey, Bullet Club, and then Balor's like, Balor Club, right? But WWE's wasting Finn Balor and the club, so I knew it wouldn't happen. That match was amazing. I honestly I think it was at TLC. And it was the best match of the night. It just, oh my god. Balor won, which I was like, yeah, obviously it's a Raw pay-per-view. The Raw guy's going to win. But it was the best match of the night. It was one of AJ's best matches. Balor's best match in WWE so far, if you don't count NXT. And then at the end, they did the Too Sweet, and I was just like, oh my god, this is so great. And then they threw AJ into a program with Jinder, and I was like, they're either going to do AJ really dirty here, or they're going to actually do the right thing. And they did the right thing. They gave AJ Styles the WWE Championship, and he actually had a really good match with Jinder. He was able to pull a good match out of Jinder Mahal. That's fucking saying something. And then his match against Brock at Survivor Series started off really weird, and then just got much better. It wasn't the best match of the night. My favorite match of the night is coming up. But yeah, AJ Styles, this was once again the year of AJ Styles. I don't give a shit what anybody says. AJ Styles is the best worker in the world. I love Kenny Omega, and I love Kazuchika Okada. But AJ Styles is the best worker in the world because he can pull great matches out of anybody. Kenny Omega just has great matches against great wrestlers. So yeah, number 3, AJ Styles. Number 2. This is a double thing. The Usos versus the New Day feud was amazing, but the Usos in general have been amazing. Oh my god, the Usos have been so good. Their heel turn, whenever it was was the best decision WWE made this year because the Usos are great workers, but they were not over with the whole that whole thing. They weren't over. They were getting old, and I'm like, oh my god, just get rid of the Usos already. And then they turned them heel, and they started the whole, it's not paranoia, it's the Usos. If you don't like that, I don't know what you are. Down since day one-ish. The whole, hey, Us! Yeah, Us! That whole thing is just, that's great. Their matches against Breezango and American Alpha were all great. Their work against Breezango was amazing. It's like, Breeze being like, down since day one is H. That is amazing. That was great. But then they drafted the New Day to SmackDown. And the SmackDown Live Tag Team division changed drastically. Because every match these teams had was amazing. The SummerSlam, they had the best match on SummerSlam on the pre-show. That pre-show match was great. Their Las Vegas street fight was amazing. The Hell in a Cell match was fucking insane. Oh my god, it was like watching First Degree Manslaughter. Even the rap battle was amazing. The Usos, oh my god. The line in the rap battle is like, "Hey Big E, let's just keep it PG. You know what's good. Just don't get all rated R like your boy Xavier Woods." Oh my god, this was after the Paige sex tape scandal. Oh my god, I was watching that live at home, obviously. I shit you not, I was drinking like a drink and I spat it out because I did not see it coming. But just, oh my god, the Usos' work this year has been amazing. Their match against Sheamus and Cesaro at Survivor Series was the best match of the night. The Usos are the best tag team on the planet right now. I know how good the Guerrillas of Destiny are. I know how good the Young Bucks are. I know how good the Revival are, but they're hurt. But the Usos are doing some of the best work I've seen in tag team wrestling in WWE on the main roster in years. There's nothing that they've done wrong. And now, we come to number one. This one I wasn't really 100% sure about, but then I went back and watched it again, and I was like, yeah, this has to be number one. The best thing in WWE this year was NXT War Games. What a show! Oh my god, such a good show. Oh! Every single match on this show was 4 stars or more for me. I don't give a shit what Meltzer says. Fuck Meltzer. The first match, again, okay. Every match on this show, except for the opener, was 4 stars or more. Friggin' Lars Sullivan versus Cassius Ohno, that was actually a good match. They're building Lars Sullivan in a really good way. I think they're going to eventually do Lars Sullivan versus Braun Strowman, which, yes, please. Then the best match of the night happened. Aleister Black versus the Velveteen Dream. I did not think this match was going to be good. I don't get Velveteen Dream. I get him now, and I want more of him. Aleister Black has just been amazing. Tommy End is just... Oh, this match was so good. Velveteen Dream comes out like Rick Rude. He's got himself on one pant leg, and he's got Aleister Black on the other. This whole match was just amazing psychology. You know, Black does his whole, I'm going to try to do this, his whole, like, you know, sitting thing. And then Velveteen does it, and then Black gets up in his face. Then the DDT that Velveteen Dream pulled out. Oh my god. If y'all saw that match, he spiked Aleister Black. That was like a really weird version of a hammerlock DDT. But that match was amazing. Velveteen Dream has a huge future. Pair him with Goldust. Do a feud with him and Goldust. I don't care. That will be great because Goldust is still awesome. Then it was the women's Fatal 4-Way. Kairi Sane versus Peyton Royce versus Ember Moon versus Nikki Cross. That match was great. Should have gotten more time. But the last 10 minutes of that match was insane because Kairi hits the insane elbow. Then Peyton Royce hits her thing. Then Nikki Cross hits her thing. And then a double eclipse from Ember Moon. She eclipsed both Peyton Royce and Nikki Cross. That match was fantastic. Then it was Drew McIntyre versus Andrade Cien Almas, which, by the way, my buddy pointed this out to me. Why does he have the middle name, the nickname Cien? Cien is 100 in Spanish. It doesn't make sense that he still has it, but I like it. Oh, this was such a good match. I don't know if the ending was the way it was supposed to be. I feel like it might have been the way it was supposed to be. Obviously not Drew getting hurt. But the top rope DDT, the whole match was great, though. Zelina Vega getting involved, the Hurricane Rana on Drew, and then Cien hits the Hammerlock DDT. I thought that was it. Then Drew hits the Claymore on Almas. Jesus, turned him inside out 4 times around. Jesus Christ. Then, unfortunately, Drew gets hurt because he caught his arm on the top rope and, tore his bicep. But then they gave the title to Andrade Cien Almas. I could not believe that. I don't know where they're going to go with this. But I'm excited. And then NXT War Games. Undisputed Era versus AOP and Roderick Strong versus Sanity. Amazing match. Fucking Alexander Wolf. Fucking applaud. Dude busted open the back of his head on that table spot. He was getting his head stapled back together during the match when they did that big spot from the top of the cage with Strong and Cole, where they did the superplex off the top of the cage and taking out everybody. That was amazing. Adam Cole is one of the best workers. I hadn't seen a whole lot of his stuff, but he's one of the best workers now. Easily. Eric Young is fucking insane. Killian Dane fucking going coast to coast. This whole match was amazing. The whole show was amazing. Survivor Series had a lot to live up to. They did not. But NXT proving... the NXT we're having now is a lot like the NXT we had a couple years ago. When it was like Shinsuke and Rude and Finn and Joe and, DIY versus the Revival. We're getting the old NXT back, and I'm really excited for it. So yeah, that was my top 10 best of WWE. If you have any other things that you thought were really great, leave it in the comments below. If you want to check out a huge rant, that's my top 10 worst of WWE. That's in the description. Leave some comments there. Like, share, subscribe, or whatever. And let's hope that 2018 is, more... is better than it was this year. I don't know, but we can only hope, right? All right. Thanks for watching.